According to Aboriginal culture, all of what we know in this world was birthed from a phenomenon called dream time. During dream time, ancient creator beings, like the powerful rainbow serpent, emerged from a formless earth to give shape to mountains, right? And carve out rivers, making paths called song lines, like dreaming tracks that left this land melodically mapped across all language groups. And now, stories of creation passed down through generations are called dreamings and are often symbolized by totems. Right? So if your totem is a kangaroo, then you are said to own kangaroo dreaming as your rightful part of this timeless story of how all people and plants, all history and ancestry, all evidence of life as we know it was born from a dream. And if that is true, then I am just glad it was not born from the dream I had last night, because that was crazy, right? No, seriously, like it was, maybe you had too much sugar before bed, or I don't know if it's the jet lag or something, but seriously, that mess was cray, I gotta tell you. So I was in this flying pirate ship, right, operated by Qantas, that had a special, like a first-class upgrade where they do acupuncture and foot massages. You guys probably can't afford it, but suddenly, this group of rude dragons, right, challenged my friend and I to a steel cage battle of karaoke. And so I started singing this amazing version of a duet operatic version of Bangum style, you know? But it was more like Bangum style, right? And then my partner was this android who had like a robot body, but Halle Berry's face, right? And but my wife's soul, like it was you, baby, in his heart. It was your essence. But damn if she didn't have Halle Berry's face, and she was fine. Anyway, that's when I woke up. And to be honest, I am kind of shocked that I do remember it with such detail. Because after all, science has shown that most dreams are forgotten within 5 to 9 minutes max after we wake up. The ones that tend to remain, according to Scientific American, are usually so beautiful or bizarre, they capture our attention and increase activity in our dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. So, they say, the more remarkable your dream, the more beautiful or bizarre it is, the more likely you are to remember it beyond the 10th minute. And that Aborigine version of creation definitely meets the remarkable qualification. Then again, so do we. All right, we are no less fantastical. I mean, in this room, there is a creator being out there in khakis who has formed mountains of tech startups that are shaping the world's digital landscape. In this room, right here, there is a rainbow serpent wearing Louboutins who has rivered innovative sales channels like song lines through which consumers connect across language groups. And even on this stage, I myself am literally the walking proof that sometimes mythology does come true. When I first used to introduce myself as a full-time poet, people would look at me like I said, "Hi, my name is Sekou. I'm a full-time mermaid. Nice to meet you." Nice to meet you. Right? Then what's your name? Gabriel, right. And Gabriel was like, "What is that? What do you do? What do you do for money do? Right? And yet, 10 years later, here we got Forbes magazine naming me the de facto poet laureate of corporate America. And Gabriel still has no idea what the hell I do, right? And this room is filled with that, though, the keepers of these beautiful, remarkable, bizarre, dreamy lives. So I say, let that be our tribe, right? Let's say we're a tribe of chief creator beings who pass down the power to manifest remarkable dreams. And we have gathered from all across the world to sit around this fire and share those dreaming stories that leave us most inspired. Like the dreaming story that was told to me once of how innovation was born by the little boy who owned crocodile dreaming. One day his teacher asked him, "How do you spell crocodile?" And the boy answered, "Crocodile. Krocodial, crocodile." And when the teacher said, "No, that's wrong," the boy responded, "Well, maybe it's not correct, but you asked me how I spell it. So I ask you, YPO, how do you spell your version of dream time? What specific dreamings will you own, right? Like, how about sleepyhead dreaming, right? Or, pinch me dream, no, pinch me. I'll find it, but what I'm trying to get at is that there's this magical sliver of space, right, between dead asleep and totally awake. Those precious few moments when you can awaken inside of a dream, fully aware that you are not fully awake. And it's not the lucid dreaming practiced by those other tribes, right, where they master this awareness, they use it to alter the reality in the dream to make anything possible in the dream. No, only this tribe, our tribe, we who take everything to the next level, we practice lucid living, using that window of awareness to bring the dream into reality and make anything possible in our lives. That is the dreaming that is owned by this tribe, and we will call it slap-proof dreaming. Yes, the power to create a life so remarkable that we walk around constantly slapping ourselves to see if we're still asleep. And no matter how many times our cheeks feel that rosy sting, we still feel like we're always living the dream. It is slap-proof dreaming. And okay, all right, relax. I realize that starting off the conference by using slapping yourself as my first takeaway might be a bit considered a bit risky or edgy for some of you. Sir, I get it, okay, calm down. But what am I gonna say? Seriously, this is YPO. What am I gonna say? Let's own growth dreaming? No, we can be more Aboriginal than that, all right? So in honor of the Aborigines, I'm coming up with a risky name for every one of my takeaways. I mean, they could have said horn, but they said didgeridoo. That is way more fun to say. Besides, if you didn't want an edgy speaker, you shouldn't have called it Global Edge. The leaders of this tribe, right? I mean, the leaders in this tribe, we were forged on risk. That is how we stay ahead. We know what they say. Your best teacher is your last mistake. And you know what I say? You win some, you learn some with each risk you take. And that is why this tribe also owns, wait for it, Neosporin dreaming. Yes. Yeah, hey, listen, you want to empower your staff to joint venture off the beaten path? Well, then you got to put some splints in the desks of your C-suite execs. You stock gauze in the glove boxes of your sales reps. You hand out Neosporin at your staff meetings and tell them, don't come back here without lacerations. You empower your team and create a safe space to fail forward in new ways, and then be brave enough to leave this world with bizarre, unforgettable takeaways. And I'm not saying it's easy. No, of course not. I'm not, taking risks, disruptive leadership, hell, even living out your dreams. It's never easy. I know personally how hard it can be to lead from the edge. So I offer you now this powerful personal mantra to help you get through those seemingly impossible days. You can say this to yourself. As a matter of fact, everyone say it to yourself right now. Repeat after me. At least I'm not trying to build a successful business from poetry. I got no sympathy for y'all, please. Whatever. What do you got, a multi-billion-dollar tech business or financial industry? I built my business off the dead art form you hated in high school. Get over it. You want to talk about terrifying risk? Before there was Sekou, the two-time National Poetry Slam champion, or before there was Sekou, the world's leading poetic voice, there was Sekou, the elementary school teacher, quitting his job to do poetry full-time for companies and hearing them tell me, oh, you must be dreaming. No. Sweetie, poetry might belong at the company holiday party maybe, but not at a business meeting, right? And so, instead of choosing to stop dreaming, and wake up, I decided to wake up and start dreaming. I started presenting my spoken word at business conferences, traditional spoken word though, and then I noticed this trend of speaker, followed by speaker, followed by speaker, followed by artist, a performer, who would lift the spirits, take the message from the head to the heart, get you ready for the next speaker, followed by speaker, followed by speaker. And as I noticed this trend, I found myself asking my pivotal Dreamtime question. Why is art used as the break from the speaker content and not the vehicle for the speaker content? That was the moment I started slap-proofing my life. I created a new category of speaking called poetic voice. It fuses inspirational speaking seamlessly with spoken word poetry. And honestly, guys, I got so busy helping Apple inspire their top retailers and helping Toyota embrace new sales possibilities, helping Nike, with their analyst meetings and close $60 million endorsement deals. I just got so busy helping these Fortune 500s electrify their meetings that I never did find out who they used for their holiday party. I'm sure it was someone quite good, though. The point is, I know the risk involved in not being risk averse. I know what it means to take the risk on myself first, and I'm just one of the many dreaming stories in this tribe here of how to act in the face of fear and laugh with the face of tears and become better leaders by exchanging ideas to broaden your global perspective through fellowshipping with peers, because this tribe here owns Venn diagram dreaming. Yeah, the Venn diagrams when they come to contact with the circle. I wasn't going to call it contact high dreaming, but I don't know you like that, and that's a little personal, right? So we're just going to call it Venn diagram dreaming, the collaborative power of learning from this whole that is greater than the sum of our smarts. The world's changing, right? Rejecting the practice of business as usual, and the new model for sustainable success is business as mutual, driven by a generation that insists on high touch, and high tech, right? So to access our future potential, you don't have to get all touchy-feely, sir. Just relax. I'm not coming to you for a hug, okay? You don't have to get touchy-feely, huh? But if you want to, you can touch and feel, huh? You can touch and feel. We have to touch and feel. We have to practice connecting more deeply, right? Holding spaces where you can reveal the truth of where you really are, and I can show you the truth of where you can be. Challenging, like mentors, but caring like family. Listening in this safe haven with no judgment as you share the story, the dreaming story of your humanity that begins with 2 words. I'm scared. I'm gonna be honest, I'm scared, All these people who look to me as their leader, who will eventually discover that I don't always know what the hell I'm doing. And yet my decisions are responsible for the families of their team. And they all look at me like I am just living the dream, and they're not wrong, I guess. I got the dream house and the dream spouse, and I work all night to create the life I always dreamed of for my wife. And so much of the work that I do is to make my daughter's dreams come true. And yet I told her I would be there again. And the damn conference call went late again, and she stood up from that piano, desperately searching the recital audience for a glimpse of me, and fought back tears during her bow again. And I can't even ask my dad how to do all of this better. I remember like it was yesterday, standing there nodding through a trembling smile as he stood there in that stupid blue hospital gown and said the words, no more chemo. So the irony is not lost on me that I have entered adulthood without a father to teach me how to do this well, and yet I will cancel that doctor's appointment before I delay that potential sale. Even though the headaches are still there, chest pains still there, the only thing that seems to be gone is time for proper self-care, time to mend the wear and the tear of becoming this millionaire, time to be present and be still and beware of ways to repair this looming despair that's leaving me quite scared that I am allowing my perfect dream time to become my worst. But here's the thing. Here's the best thing about having a tribe, right? It's that only someone who has gone through it too can hear your dark truths and know exactly what to do to help you get through. So in that vulnerable moment, I simply remind you to open your palm, spread out your fingers, cock back your arm, and give your face a nice, hearty slap, living that rosy, giving your cheek that beautiful sting, and not as a dismissive, get over it, but as a way of remembering that you are still living the dream, that you are still not asleep. You still have the power to change the course of your trajectory, and you have me as part of the greatest lucid living community, right? And where the membership badge is that pink handprint on your cheek, the reminder that when you cannot catch your own breath, the best thing you can do is remember the greatest resource that each of you have. Each of you. The greatest resource that each of you have is each of you. And each of you have the dreaming stories that offer you the proof, like the dreaming story of the Jamaican farmer. Oh, one of my favorites. The old man who every year would plant his sweet yams in the ground with his son Vincent. But one year, the land had grown too hard and cold and frozen over, and he was unable to plow the land, and his son was unable to help him, Vincent, because he was in jail. And so, unsure of what to do, the old man wrote a letter to his son in jail that said, "My dearest son, the land is too frozen over for me to plant my sweet yams. I don't know how I'm going to eat, and you are not here to help me. Your father." The next day, the father received a cold, curt note from his son that simply said, "Dad, whatever you do, do not dig up that land. That's where I buried the bodies." Later that evening, 30 policemen in uniform showed up with picks and shovels and began to dig and dig and dig up that land. Of course, finding nothing, they apologized to the old man and left. And the following day, he received a loving letter from his son that said, "My dearest father, by now, your land is surely dug up. I apologize that I was not able to help you as I normally do. This was the best I could do with the resources available to me." Never underestimate the resources you have to invest that can bring out someone's best. We are each primary stakeholders in our own society. So we cannot afford to make dollars that don't make change, because real wealth is not defined by whether you can pay for it, but whether you can pay it forward. Like writing love notes on foggy mirrors when our lovers are in the shower. What are you leaving behind for someone to cherish? How will your neighbor, your industry, your world be better for having encountered you? I call it heirloom dreaming. And yes, we own that too. Those moments when we take dream time beyond ourselves. For me, it was the moment I noticed how many times my clients would watch me on stage and say to me after, "I wish I could do that." And I saw that I had not been true to scaling my impact. I had allowed myself to believe for too long that that was just my unique gift, right? My own rock star magic. But I realized there is a point at which our personal magic ends and our professional mastery begins, and that my true gift would be in giving that mastery to others to help bring out their magic. So I started sharing my rock star secrets with leaders and influencers and other public speakers to help them find and harness the power of their voice so that they could become more compelling and confident communicators who inspire millions more than I can touch alone. Because who better than me, considering the dreaming that I own, who better than the poet who owns poetic voice dreaming to give the world its most powerful voice? Who better than we? Rainbow serpents full-time mermaids, young presidents, and other creator beings to gather around this fire in our eyes and explore these edgy themes of cures for aging, robotics and AI, high-tech and high-touch, of being leaders of technology but not letting it lead us, making sure we don't just start up, we keep up, we seek up, we push each other to leap up when we come here to meet up and pass down to our tribe our power of creation, the power of thinking differently, the power of risk-taking, because that is the essence of a culture of innovation. Innovation is simply the difference between why didn't I think of that and why didn't I think like that? So today, let us remind ourselves to think like that. Like more than the world's most powerful network, like the world's most powerful collection of dream catchers, hung over 22,000 beds to catch the best dreams of the night, dangling with feathers to remind you of your potential for flight, a pink handprint on cheeks, the secret badge of the tribe, as evidence of your commitment to live a slap-proof life. Let that be your promise to each other. That you will create a life so remarkable, you'll question if you're really awake. A life so beautifully bizarre, it's recalled long past the 10th minute. A life that answers the question, how do I want to be remembered? Promise that you will go out and make this world wake up every day, desperately grabbing its pen to journal you in every way so that it never forgets your story, our stories of creation, and it celebrates this dream time that we have each reawakened. For this now is the time to remind ourselves of our power to create all things. And this is the life so remarkable, it is worth remembering. And this is the tribe, crafting the song lines that the world will forever sing, and creating together a life that is never beyond our wildest dreams. Thank you, YPO. Thank you. Let's go get them today. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome to Dream Time. Thank you.